Hello students, in the last class we introduced irrational numbers. A number is an irrational number if it has non-repeating and non-terminating decimal representation. They are not of the form p by q where p and q are integers and q is not equal to 0. P by q is only the property of a rational number and not an irrational number. Examples are under root 2, under root 3, under root 5 or any under root n where n is not a perfect square. We also saw to solve questions of the form prove that under root 2, under root 3, under root 5 are irrational numbers. We did this through two methods, long division method and method of contradiction. In method of contradiction, we assumed that the given number is rational and then we contradicted the assumption through reasoning. Today we will go ahead and see some useful results on irrational numbers. The first theorem states that negative of an irrational number is an irrational number. For example, if under root 2 is an irrational number, then negative of under root 2 is also an irrational number. Similarly, if under root 35 is an irrational number, then negative of under root 35 is also an irrational number. The second theorem states that sum of rational and irrational number is an irrational number. For example, here 2 is a rational number and under root 2 is an irrational number and their sum is an irrational number. This sum also includes addition of negative irrational numbers or negative rational numbers, which means minus in general terms. So 6 plus minus under root 3 is also an irrational number. The third theorem states that the product of a non-zero rational number, and here non-zero is important, and irrational number is an irrational number. For example, 2 is a rational number and under root 23 is a irrational number and their product is an irrational number. Please note that if a number is multiplied with 0, it becomes 0 and 0 is a rational number. The fourth theorem states that sum, product or division of two irrational numbers need not be irrational. So it can be rational or it can be irrational. One of the example we see here is under root 2 into under root 23 is under root 46, which is an irrational number. But if you multiply under root 2 with under root 2 only, you will get under root 4 that is equal to 2 and 2 is a rational number. So it varies from case to case. Similarly, when we add under root 23 and the negative of under root 23, we get 0, which is a rational number. So the last theorem is important. It varies from case to case. Now let us do a few questions based on these theorems. The first kind of question is identification question. Here you will be given a number and you will be asked to identify whether the number is rational number or irrational number. For example, the first question given to us is under root 45. Here we will find the factors of 45. We get 5, 9, 3 and 3. So we write under root 45 as 3 into 3 into 5. Now 3 into 3, which means 3 will come out, 3 under root 5. Here 3 we know is rational number, under root 5 is an irrational number, and we know through the theorems that product of rational and irrational number is irrational. Hence 3 under root 5 is irrational, which means under root 45 is irrational. Let's take second question, which is very easy and very similar. Under root 12, again we are going to find the factors 2, 6, 2, 3. This is equal to 2 into 2 into 3, which means 2 under root 3. Using the same method, 2 is rational, under root 3 is irrational, and product of rational and irrational is irrational, and hence under root 12 is irrational. Now in the next question, we need to find two irrational numbers between 0.12 and 0.13. Now, we know that 0.13 is greater than 0.12. Now, just imagine a scenario if we did not have to find an irrational number and we had to find rational numbers. This we have done earlier, if you remember, in our previous class. So, if we had to find rational numbers instead of irrational numbers, how we would have done? Let's have a quick revision of that as well, because we have similar questions in rational number as well. So, what we would have done? We had to find two numbers. We would have added here 1 and we would get 3. 0.13 can be written as 13 by 100. Here we are trying to solve for rational numbers. Okay, 13 by 100, and 0.12 can be written as 12 by 100. Now we have to multiply both of them with 3 on the numerator and denominator side into 3. We get here 39 by 300 and 36 by 300. The numbers between 36 by 300 and 39 by 300, the rational numbers between them are 37 by 300 and 38 by 300. So this was a quick revision part to find rational numbers. Now the question here is not to find rational numbers but irrational numbers. So let's focus on that. Suppose we draw a number line and we get here 0.12. Here we get 0.13. Now we know that the irrational number will be on the left hand side of 0.13 and on the right hand side of 0.12. So we will take this number and we'll find numbers greater than this but less than 0.13. So the next number which can be irrational and lie on the right hand side of 0.12 will be 0.12, 01, 001, 0001, 00001 and so on. So this can be our first number. The second number can be 0.1202, 002, 002, 0002, 00002 and so on. The third number can be, and this is not part of question but still we need to see, 0.1203, 003 and so on and so forth. So you understood that how to find the irrational numbers between two irrational number or between two rational numbers. Now the next question is, examine if the following are rational or irrational. So we have to find whether the given numbers are rational or irrational, and this kind of question is generally asked. You are given a set of numbers and you are asked whether the given set of numbers are irrational or rational. Now you will have to solve them to find if they are rational or irrational, and plus you will have to use the theorems that we have discussed earlier. So the first question is 2 plus under root 2 the whole square. Now if you know the formula a plus b the whole square is a square plus 2ab plus b square. We need to use this formula. So you need to know the formula for solving such kind of questions. So we will say, using a plus b the whole square is equal to a square plus 2ab plus b square, we get 2 plus under root 2 the whole square is equal to 2 square plus 2 into 2 into under root 2 plus under root 2 the whole square. That is equal to 4 plus 4 root 2 plus 2. That is equal to 6 plus 4 root 2. Now we know through theorem that sum of a rational and irrational number is an irrational number. So you need to revise the theorem using theorem on irrational number, and you need to state the theorem here. We know that sum of rational and irrational number is irrational. We can say that 2 plus under root 2 the whole square is an irrational number. So this is first question. The second question is 5 plus under root 5, 5 minus under root 5. Now if you know this formula is a plus b, a minus b is equal to a square minus b square. So you will mention that using a plus b, a minus b is equal to a square minus b square, we get 5 plus under root 5. 5 minus under root 5 is equal to 5 square minus under root 5 the whole square is equal to 25 minus. Now let us represent irrational numbers on the number line. To represent irrational numbers on number line, we first need to understand Pythagoras theorem. Pythagoras theorem states that in a right angle triangle ABC, altitude square plus base square is equal to hypotenuse square. What does this mean? This means that suppose AB is the altitude of the triangle, B is the base of the triangle, then hypotenuse AC, the square of hypotenuse is equal to A square plus B square. And we are going to use this theorem to determine how to represent irrational numbers on the number line. Now suppose the first question is to represent under root 2 on number line. We draw a number line, we mark O as the point of origin, and we take 1 unit on x-axis. So let OA be 1 unit. We draw a perpendicular line on A, and this perpendicular line is also of 1 unit, and we mark here B. Now we have to find OB. So OAB is a right angle triangle where angle OAB is equal to 90 degree. So Pythagoras theorem will follow. What will it say? OA square plus AB square is equal to OB square. Now if you note here, we have to determine OB square. OA square is given as 1 and AB square is also given as 1. 1 square. That is equal to 1 plus 1 equal to 2, implies OB square is equal to 2, and hence OB is equal to under root 2, which means OB is under root 2. Now we have to find this same point on the x-axis, on the number line. So what we do, we take a compass and from point O, we measure OB. And then keeping the needle on O, we draw a circle. Now the point which will meet the number line having the same radius as OB will be under root 2. Since radius of a circle at all the points are same. So this particular, let's name it as A dash. So OA dash is under root 2. So this is how we find the number line. We represent the irrational numbers on the number line. Now suppose you want to represent under root 3 on the number line. What will you do? Under root 3. So we can say 3 is equal to 2 plus 1. Now if we fit it into Pythagoras theorem, what will happen? So we'll say under root 3 the whole square is equal to under root 2 the whole square plus under root 1 the whole square. Now here what we'll do, we'll take a point of origin as 0. This we have found, we have found the way of finding under root 2. So we'll find under root 2 from the above method. This is under root 2 and here we have OA dash. We'll draw a perpendicular line here of 1 unit, and then this particular, suppose this is B dash. So OB dash is under root 3. Similarly, with the help of compass, we will draw a circle, and this point which intersects the number line, we call it A dash dash. OA dash dash is equal to OB dash is equal to under root 3. Similarly, we can represent any irrational number on number line. Now suppose you want to represent under root 7, what will you do? You will first find the calculation so that it fits into the Pythagoras theorem. So under root 7, rather 7 can be written as 4 plus 3. Now under root 7 the whole square can be written as 2 square plus under root 3 the whole square. Now you know how to find under root 3 from here. What we are going to do, we are going to take the number line, we are going to first write the origin, and here we have a dash dash, which is under root 3. You are going to find this, and then here instead of 1 unit we are going to take 2 units. So this is 2, and suppose this is P. Now in this case OP is equal to under root 7, and then again we'll take a compass and we will find the point under root 7. So let's call this as P dash. Now OP is equal to OP dash is equal to under root 7. So this is the representation of irrational numbers on the number line. This completes our chapter 1. We are going to quickly sum up whatever we have done. So we have completed chapter 1, and what all we have seen? We have seen numbers, natural numbers, whole numbers, integers and rational numbers. We have also seen finding two numbers between two rational numbers. Then we saw decimal representation of numbers. We saw types of rational numbers, terminating and non-terminating. And then we saw conversion of rational numbers. And finally, we saw irrational numbers, 4 theorems, and proving that, this number is irrational. Then we also represented irrational numbers on number line. This is the sum total of whatever we have done in chapter 1.